anything that we need to? Can I possibly get somebody up front to do the first 6? Somebody to just do the writing. Everybody will answer, but somebody to do the writing? Great. Okay, so guys, what do you think 1 should be? Is 1 a positive, negative, none, nonlinear? No correlation. Good. So we're going to say no. On the little corner by the board, by the frame.
You don't have to hold it. Under the slope.
Here. And then we hit the pink, and that gives me some pins. Okay? So, positive. Or no correlation. What about 2? What do you think 2 is? Negative. Good. 3. Good. Now, on number 3, yes, it's positive. You're 100% right there. But are those data points close together? It's almost tempting to do a little no correlation on there, right? So we would say that's also a weak positive, right? Compare your problem 3 and your problem 4, guys. They're both positive, but isn't 4 a lot stronger than 3? Okay, so 4 is also positive. What do you think about 5? Negative, and 4 and 5 are both strong. All right, here's where we can run into some trouble. No correlation means that there's no pattern. They're just everywhere, right? Is there a pattern on this one? It is a circle, isn't it? So what do we call it? Non-linear. Non-linear. I know that it's not positive or negative, but it does have a curve and it does have a pattern. So we're going to say this is the non-linear one, okay? All right? So that alone, that section right there is probably 20 points on tomorrow's test. You going to get those 20? Okay. Can I clear?
Yep.
All right, what about, can I get somebody to plot some points for me? Do we all know, are you going to do them? Okay. Do we all know what this little gash at the graph, at the bottom of the graph means? So there is no data that's smaller than 60. So if I had started this at 0 and did 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, I would have nothing but an empty blank graph. So there's no reason, there's no purpose. So we cut that graph like we cut off that part of the paper because there would be no points there. All right, I have 8 and 83, so I'm coming to 8 and going up to 80. Gonna have to do some estimating, right? I have 7 and 86, 7 and 74, 8 and 88, 6 and 76. Yes. Tell me. Okay. 563. 790. 460. 9 and 89. 781. Got lots of sevens there, don't we? All right. So you should, we've done pictures of mittens and Santa Claus. We've done all kinds of images. You should be able to plot a point, right? Yes, this is not an XY table over here, but you know that the hours slept is independent, right? Because it's time. What do we say about time? Always independent. So you know this is your x-axis, and it tells you, right? All right, my question to you on here, one of the things you're going to have to do tomorrow is draw not a perfect, because there is no such thing as a perfect, but a tight, accurate line of best fit. Do I want to start over here? No. Remember, your line of best fit, you need to go through as many points. You want to get as centered as possible. So I'm going to draw my line. I'm going to start down here, and I'm going to come up in the middle of as many points as I can. Okay? Now, when I ask you a question about a number, when I give you one number and I want you to give me the other, that's when you have to use that line of best fit. So, if I said I had a test score of 75, approximately, look at your paper if you can't see up here, approximately how many hours did I sleep? Here's my test score, 75. So I'm going to follow that over to my line of best fit. And I'm going to come down somewhere between 6 and 7. Right? Does that make sense, guys? That's probably answering these questions for me. When I give you one number and you use your line of best fit to give me the other, that's probably another 20 points on that test. Does that make sense? Okay, can I clear? All right. Mr. Jameson? You got to get the thing on the side, the pen out. Hang on for me 1 second. Here. Get the pen from the side out. Oh, you got it. All right, that's why it's not. So this one was a little tricky to me in that when I first went to do this, I saw on the table on the first column is 99. And I went down here and I'm like, oh, this doesn't go to 99. What's the deal? Right? Because my table over here is a little bit backwards. Pay attention to where the labels are on it. Okay? All right, and again, that line of best fit, I would run it through. Rami and Lana Bestfit and answering questions is going to be a good chunk tomorrow. All right, we're not going to write the last ones down up here. We're just going to say it unless I have somebody that would like to come and just write the words down. Zaylin wants to. All right. What happens? You can go up for me so I don't have to write? We're all going to answer. You're not on your own. What happens as you continue to drive? What happens to the miles?
We're on number 8.
Do you go fewer miles as you continue to drive, or do you go more miles? More. So as the hours are increasing, the miles are increasing. So what kind of a relationship is that? Positive. I'm going to get the pen. Hold on. That depends upon how, hit the X on that. That depends on how much your foot is doing on that gas pedal. Yeah, now get your pen. If you're pressing it more, you go faster, you go farther.
Oh, yeah.
Right? All right, so we got positive for 8. Now, is the fact that they're both increasing what gives us a positive? They're both doing what? What if they were both decreasing? Would it still be a positive? Yes, it's same direction that makes a positive. All right, what about number 9? The number of siblings a student has in their grade and math class.
No correlation.
No correlation, good. We don't have any. What about the age of the car and the value of the car? As the car gets older, it decreases, right? Negative, because the car's age is increasing, the car's value is decreasing. If we're going opposite direction, it's negative. The number of weeks a CD has been out and the total. Total is a key word in that. Total sales. Positive. They're both increasing, right? Now, that's a little bit tricky without that word total, because if it was like each week, like last week, the CD might have sold 5,000 copies, and this week it sold 2,000. So it decreased, but they didn't say per week, they said total, right? So that total made the difference there. The number of years a person went to school and their income. Supposedly and statistically, yes, if more school, more money. So that's a yes. But I know a lot of people.
That's positive.
That's a positive. I know some very, 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 it's work ethic. It's, are you willing to do the job? That always cracks me up when I hear a teacher say, well, you better tell that if they want to get fries with that, because they're going to be, I'm like, I started at Wendy's with a very dear, dear friend of mine. She stayed at Wendy's. I left and went to school. You know how much more money she makes than me today. I dream about having her kind of money. The number of songs downloaded on your iPad and the amount of memory. Negative. More songs, less memory, right? Alright, the time spent on the computer instant messaging your friends and the number of computers in your house.
No correlation.
No correlation, good. The age of a house and the number of people living in the house.
No correlation.
No. If it was number of people who have lived in the house, we would say it's positive. But because, so how did you do? 100. You sure? Good deal. Alright. Alright, I'm gonna let you keep that paper and turn it in after your test tomorrow. Okay? Don't lose it. Miss Grandma, that's a big, 0. Don't lose it. You can use it along with your notes. And you should have a lesson at the top of your classroom. Desmos. Okay, it says scatter plots.